What if everything you thought you knew about consciousness was just scratching the surface? Today, we're diving into documented cases that challenge our understanding of reality itself. In 1973, the CIA began a classified program called Project Gateway. If you haven't heard about this project, things are about to get wild. The goal of the project is to understand consciousness itself. But what they discovered was far more profound than anyone expected.
Arnie, when we think about human consciousness, the specialness that we all feel about being human, in reality, it gets back to our brain. We have to talk about the brain.
What if I told you that your consciousness isn't confined to your brain? That it might be part of a universal field that connects everything and everyone? Sounds like science fiction, right? Well, that's exactly what the CIA concluded after years of research. All right, let's start with something that happened in 2012 at a prestigious research facility. Scientists were conducting a routine experiment on human reaction times. They were measuring how fast people could respond to images shown on a screen. Simple enough. But here's where it gets weird. The researchers noticed something impossible. Participants were reacting to images before they were shown. Yes, you heard that right. Their bodies were responding to stimuli that hadn't happened yet.
You don't notice it now, you just kind of adapt to it.
It's just got a backup brain, that's all.
This wasn't just a fluke. The experiment was repeated in 90 different studies across 33 independent laboratories in 14 different countries. The results? Beyond statistical doubt. Somehow, human consciousness was reaching into the future. But that's just the beginning. Let's talk about the Monroe Institute, where something even stranger has been happening for decades. Here, they use a technology called hemisync, special sound frequencies that synchronize both hemispheres of your brain. Participants report experiences that shouldn't be possible. Accurate remote viewing of distant locations, shared consciousness experiences, and even interactions with non-physical entities. Former CIA operative and remote viewing trainer Skip Atwater. We had people accurately describing locations thousands of miles away, providing details they couldn't possibly know through normal means. This wasn't just lucky guessing. We're talking about statistical accuracy that went far beyond chance.
What if I told you that a US government trained psychic was asked to remote view Mars, but not on this present day, but 1,000,000 years ago?
One of the most famous cases involved Joe McMoneagle, a government remote viewer who was asked to look at coordinates on Mars, not in the present, but as it existed in 2000 BC. What he described was later partially confirmed by NASA satellite imagery, structures that shouldn't have been there. Here's where it gets even more interesting. In 2008, researchers at the University of Tokyo conducted an experiment with a single-celled organism, a slime mold. They placed food sources in a pattern matching the locations of major cities around Tokyo. Within 24 hours, the slime mold had created a network between these points that was more efficient than the actual Tokyo rail system, a system that took engineers years to design. How could a brainless organism solve such a complex problem? The implications suggest that intelligence and consciousness might exist at levels we don't yet understand. Let's talk about quantum entanglement. Einstein called it spooky action at a distance. When two particles become entangled, they remain connected regardless of distance. Change one, and the other instantly changes too, faster than the speed of light. But here's the mind-bending part. Recent studies suggest our consciousness might work the same way. In 2019, researchers documented cases of shared dreams where two people experienced the same dream simultaneously. Not just similar dreams, identical ones, down to the smallest details. One documented case involved a married couple who both woke up at exactly 2 a.m., having dreamed of the same blonde woman approaching them in the same threatening manner. They had watched no horror movies, had no common triggers, yet their experiences were identical.
Yes, it was very freaky. And at this moment, as she's telling me this, I'm beginning to like sweat a little bit, and you'll understand why in a second. And she says, this woman was getting closer and closer to me, and then I started screaming because I was like, she is going to hurt me. This woman is going to hurt me. I have got to scream. And you can't scream very well in your dreams, so she was trying to scream, and then she woke herself up, and then woke me up. I
Sound like a whale.
I said, what color was her hair? And I was thinking to myself, if she says blonde, I am going to freak out. She says blonde.
But perhaps the most compelling evidence comes from Project 8200, a classified program that investigated reports of underground facilities. Multiple remote viewers, working independently and blind to each other's results, described the same locations with shocking accuracy. Details that were later verified by satellite imagery. Dr. Russell Targ, physicist and researcher. These results challenge everything we think we know about consciousness. Either these people were accessing information through means we don't understand, or our entire concept of space and time needs to be reconsidered. The implications are staggering. If consciousness isn't confined to our brains, if it can reach across space and time, what does that mean for our understanding of reality, of human potential? Recent studies at the Institute of Noetic Sciences have found specific gene expressions associated with psychic abilities. They're literally finding the genetic markers that might allow some people to access these expanded states of consciousness more easily than others. But here's the thing that keeps scientists up at night. What if these abilities aren't supernatural at all? What if they're natural features of consciousness that we've simply forgotten how to use? Consider this. Every culture throughout history has reported similar phenomena. From ancient shamanic practices to modern laboratory experiments, we keep finding evidence that consciousness is far more expansive than we've been taught to believe. So what does this mean for you, for all of us? The evidence suggests that we're all connected through this field of consciousness, that our potential extends far beyond our physical bodies, and that we're only beginning to understand the true nature of our existence. As we stand on the brink of new discoveries in quantum physics and consciousness research, one thing becomes clear. The strangest experiences of consciousness aren't just unexplainable, they might be pointing us toward a completely new understanding of reality itself. The next time someone tells you consciousness is just brain activity, remember, we're still discovering new galaxies in our universe. How much more might we have to learn about the universe within? If you found this video interesting, hit like and subscribe for more mind-bending explorations of consciousness and reality. And let us know in the comments, have you ever experienced something that made you question the nature of consciousness?